Now the law calls sexual harassment a crime, and there's a punishment for it. This makes a difference. Also, all the movements after 2011 in general, even the non-political ones, have helped. And many girls are now starting to report it. There are cases that have been won.
While Egypt has laws to protect women from sexual harassment, the government is still throwing the accusers in prison. Egypt sentenced the Lebanese tourist to 8 years. Prosecutors say in Mona el-Mazbouh's online description about being harassed, she insulted Egyptians and the presidency. Meanwhile, jailed activist Amal Fathy has seen her detention extended for a 5th time without trial for speaking out against sexual harassment, a decision condemned by Amnesty International. Well, joining me now from London is Mostafa Ragab. He's the director of Egyptian House London, a centre for the Egyptian community. And in Tunis, we have Ahmed Ezzat. He's a researcher at Amnesty International. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on the Newsmakers. Mostafa Ragab, let me start with you. Mona el-Mazbouh, an 8-year sentence for insulting the country. Okay, she went on a bit of a tirade on social media, but that's really harsh, isn't it?
Well, how do you judge that? You are looking at people who use the freedom of expression, freedom of speech to insult people, to accuse people of things. So really, if you are visiting a country and you choose to do that, then you should face the consequences.
Haven't you been?
8 years,
but
4
certainly,
years,
sir.
6 years.
Haven't you, when you've travelled, haven't you been onto TripAdvisor, for example? Tourists like to moan. They say terrible things all the time. They insult the country. They say my bathroom didn't work. These people are dirty. Whatever it is. This is what people do. They moan when they're on holiday. Why does a woman have to go to jail for 8 years for it?
No excuse whatsoever. Let me tell you something. When I was at uni, I was going to visit Germany. And before I go, I was giving an instruction what to say and what not to say and what to do and what not to do. And the reason for all this is not to insult the German people. And people shouldn't be giving that now, because people should know if they are anywhere, even if their own country, they're not allowed to. Let me give you an example. When the Prophet Muhammad was insulted in somewhere, and the Muslim community in the UK came out in a demonstration and had all these placards saying your 9/11 is coming and insulting the British people, a lot of those people were arrested and sent to prison. How long for? Different periods.
Okay, but
and
this is
when
very
the
different,
right wing,
I mean,
when the right wing, just let me tell you,
okay.
and when the right wing was trying to organize another demonstration against this, and they were going to wear T-shirts insulting badly the Muslim community.
Yeah,
with our work with the police, we managed to stop this.
Okay, fair enough. But you're comparing her to al-Muhajirun and Omar Bakri and all these guys, right? What we're saying is that here's a woman who had a bad experience.
No, I'm not comparing.
Okay, but fair enough. She had a bad experience, which included very solid claims and very heavy claims of sexual harassment, right? So shouldn't we be looking at sexual harassment rather than blaming her and prosecuting her for speaking out against it, no matter how uncouth she might have been?
What I'm going to say to you there, two wrongs don't make a right. If she's got rights because she was sexually harassed, then that is an issue, that is a case she can go with. But you don't go and take the law into your hands and insult the whole nation.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
And the reason I wanted to...
Freedom of speech should stop. Let me tell you this very clearly in this program. Freedom of speech and expression should stop at the word respect.
Okay. So
and
Ahmed
if we do that, then we will have no problem.
Okay. So Ahmed Ezzat, I wanted to bring you in a little bit later on, and I wanted to get a clear idea of where Mostafa Ragab's coming from and the justification. Now I can bring you in. Does any of that convince you, Ahmed?
And let's resume that the language Mrs. Mona used in her video wasn't appropriate. But at the end of the day, when it comes to international standards and international legal standards, I mean, the language she used, if it is inappropriate, it shouldn't lead anyone to imprisonment. Given that at the end of the day, she didn't incite to violence, she didn't discriminate or call for the discrimination against any part of the society. And this is a question we should ask ourselves.
Okay, but Ahmed, can I put it to you this way, right? Even though you or I or Amnesty International or whoever might disagree with it, right? There's a law in Egypt. Defaming and insulting the Egyptian people is a crime. And so when I look at her words, She called Egyptian people the dirtiest people, son of a bitch country, full of pimps and beggars. You deserve what Sisi's doing to you. I hope God sends you someone more oppressive than Sisi. That in mind, I disagree with throwing someone in jail with that, and you do as well, and Amnesty does. Do you accept that maybe within Egyptian law, they might have had a case? Ahmed?
No, actually, there is a big problem in the Egyptian law that there are many provisions that are vaguely defined. For example, the insulting someone or insulting an institution, because this happens every way. Freedom of expression should be given to those, especially say controversial opinions. When it comes to normal opinions or the opinions we are familiar with, there is no problem. But the problem starts when it comes to controversial opinions. Controversial opinions deserve more protection when it comes to freedom of expression. That's the problem. And as you mentioned, we should make a balance between the root cause that led to this speech, which is sexual harassment, which has been ignored at all completely in this incident, and the consequences this situation led us to. For example, when it comes, we should ask ourselves whether this speech said by Mrs. Mona led to, for example, social unrest in Egypt. This didn't happen. So at the end of the day, she is not a public figure.
Okay, so let me bring in Mostafa Ragab here, because the point of sexual harassment is made again, and it's not just with regards Muna al-Mazbouh. We have Egyptian activist Amal Fathy detained and her detention extended as well. Similar story. She says, I was sexually harassed. She's angry. She puts something on social media. She ends up in jail. Don't you think that even though you might agree with the law and the policy that you shouldn't be insulting the Egyptian state institutions, the president, whoever, whatever, but sexual harassment needs to be looked into? This isn't a good look for the country if women are getting sexually harassed left, right, and center.
Let me tell you something. The harassment is all over the world.
I know, but
if you're going to expose it in a certain country,
certainly we're doing this about Egypt.
We're talking about Egypt, but this is but this is an issue all over the world, and it should be addressed. It should be ignored. But you cannot go for an excuse because you were sexually harassed. I cannot repeat the words that you said, that the lady said. It's so filthy. And if you choose to come out and with these words, and every country is allowed, as entitled, to make their own law. So if there is some countries are soft about this, some countries are very hard about this, every country should be allowed to make their own law. And this is made to teach people a lesson, to say to people, stop there, that something should never happen. So if we're going to say international law or all over the world, it doesn't apply to everybody. Everybody should be allowed to make their own law. And Egypt has not overreacted in this. Egypt have stepped in to say, we're not allowing anybody to say the filthy words against anybody in Egypt. This is simple. And if you're going anywhere in the world, you should learn what to say and what not to say. If I'm going to Tunisia, where my friend is, so I should know what to say and what not to say, and have full respect for the Tunisian people, regardless what happened to me in Tunis. Because if someone in Tunis insulted me or accused me, that is not Tunis, that is a person, that is someone. So I don't go and accuse or insult the whole country because someone have done something wrong to me. Do you agree with me there or not?
Mr. Ragab, she posted a second video apologizing. Why wasn't her apology enough for you?
Too late. You don't go and kill someone and say, I'm sorry. You don't go and insult someone and say, I'm sorry.
She didn't kill anybody, and that's the point.
You're entitled to apologize, but it's up to me to accept your apology or not.
But again,
you don't say, well, I apologized.
Okay, but again,
I haven't accepted your apology.
But you gave some analogies, right? And I don't want to take your analogies too literally and too seriously, but earlier you said, you know, it's just like those guys who said, your 9/11 is coming, or whatever it is. You were comparing her to extremists, al-Muhajirun, and Umar Bakri and that lot, and now you're saying you don't kill someone and then apologize afterwards. She didn't kill anybody. She said some stuff while angry on holiday. Come on. You're bigger than that.
She is insulted. She insulted the whole nation, and under no circumstances I will accept any insult with any apology. You have insulted the country, you have insulted the Egyptian woman, you have insulted the whole nation. Someone has done something wrong with you, you don't go and insult the whole British people. You can't do that. You just can't do it.
Okay,
and this is a message for people to learn.
Okay. But it's a message. It's not very good for your tourism industry, which you're trying to boost. Sisi's trying to boost tourism.
No.
Come over, don't say anything bad about us or else we'll throw you in jail. Don't insult us. Come on. How's that going to work for tourism?
No, my friend, I don't say anything bad. I say something reasonable. We're not encouraging any tourist to open his mouth with any insult to the country. He's not welcome. If he's coming to insult the people, he's not welcome. I tell you that.
Okay. Ahmed Ezzat, now that we've heard a lot from Mostafa Ragab, and he's doubling down, he's pretty firm on this. Let me ask you, if you had to advise her, she's got it was a longer sentence than 8 years initially, and now it's 8. If you had to advise her legally and otherwise, what would you tell her to do? What is her legal recourse?
Yeah, before joining Amnesty, I used to be a lawyer in Egypt, and I worked in many criminal cases. And nothing in the Egyptian law, in the Egyptian penal code, say that I should be entitled or to criminal trial because I insulted Egypt or Egyptian people. I should be referred to a trial or investigation if I insulted an individual, a certain individual, and this individual complained against me to the authorities, and this didn't happen because she didn't direct her insult or her speech to a specific person or a specific institution, and this is a problem. Nothing in the Egyptian law criminalizes such act, and this is the first thing. But what gives the authorities this margin to imprison people, because what they are saying is the widely defined and the ambiguous social, political, and other norms included in the Egyptian law.
I know Mostafa Ragab disagrees, but Mr. Ragab, we're out of time. We're going to get you back on the show soon, but I appreciate you both taking the time to come on to the Newsmakers, Ahmed Ezzat and Mostafa Ragab. Thank you very much.